to the Low Country.
Thank you.
I'm Shirley Brown Perry. I live in a small town named Dale in the Sheldon Township, and I'm very interested in getting out the vote. But I'm also concerned about voter suppression.
Yes.
What are we going to do to get people the right to vote that's guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution? Gerrymandering. We need to solve this issue now. Why would you want to keep minorities from voting? It is a constitutional right, and we must deal with it.
Thank you. Reverend Hodges was talking about Robert Smalls at the outset of this meeting. Here is a Civil War hero, an American patriot, a combat veteran, who also came back and extended that public service in the State House, in the State Senate, in the United States Congress. But there's a reason that he was one of the last African Americans to serve in the Congress for decades following. And there's a reason that the Voting Rights Act was necessary, signed into law by Lyndon Baines Johnson, but forced into law by people who were willing to risk, in some cases, lost their lives in the civil rights struggle in order to form the popular will in order to achieve that victory. And there's a reason that we need a new Voting Rights Act right now. My home state of Texas ranked 50th in voter turnout going into the 2018 election because it was drawn that way. The courts literally found in 2017 that African Americans, Mexican Americans, people based on their race or country of national origin were drawn out of a congressional district to diminish the power of their vote or the likelihood that their voice would ever be heard. I just had the chance last week to sit down with Stacey Abrams. She is the rightful governor of the state of Georgia, but hundreds of thousands of people were purged from the voter rolls by the same Secretary of State who ran against her and got to referee the rules of the election in which he prevailed. If you do not have a Voting Rights Act, you will continue to see this kind of gross injustice on this and every generation that follows. So in Georgia, Texas, what we're hearing about a new set of democracy reforms and proposals. The first calls for bringing many more people into our democracy, so through automatic and same-day voter registration and pre-registering high school students, 16 and 17 years old, so that they're ready to vote when they're 18. We bring 55 million more Americans into our democracy through registration. We then pass and sign a new Voting Rights Act that ends the voter roll purges, ends racist gerrymandering, ends racist voter ID laws, where in Texas, you can use your license to carry a firearm to prove who you are, but you cannot use your student ID from the University of Texas at El Paso to prove who you are. Election Day becomes a national holiday, and then we restore confidence in our elections and in our democracy by having paper receipts or paper ballots for every vote cast, audits of the elections that are held in this country. Not only an end to gerrymandering, but an end to political action committees contributing to federal elections so that our office holders are listening not to corporations, but to people. And then making sure that the census counts every single American, no citizenship question on that census. If we do all of that, I think we meet the challenge that you just laid before us and ensure that this democracy is really up to every single task before us right now. So thank you for sharing this, and I want to make sure that we get a chance to see you in Sheldon Township and have a chance to meet our fellow Americans and the voters who will decide this next election. Thank you. Thanks, Shirley.